Just the little lights that say going live. Wow. I'm extremely nervous about doing this video. I don't usually ever go live unless it's Facebook, so being on YouTube, for some reason, I feel it's a little bit more, to me, a little bit more personal. But there's a few reasons as to why I've gone live. But first and foremost, a little bit about myself. So my name is Sophie. I run a dance school called the Sophie Elizabeth Dance Academy. I'm 26 years old and I have been dancing for around 19 years. The business has been open for about 3 years and I have roughly around 40 to 45 children, regulars that come. How I would best describe myself. I can be a little bit of a stress head at times. I like to be organised, and I like to provide the best kind of opportunities that I can for the people around me, the people that I associate with. I also work at Casey's in Donington, Telford, events organiser and also duty manager, which is great because I get to be at all the events, I get to organise some of the events. And also I perform there as well, which is just something a little bit for me. So it's great that I can actually do something for myself as well as be there for others at the same time. Inspiration for the video. I was just watching Britain's Got Talent and I thought to myself how inspiring it is to see these people that are putting themselves out there on a stage and may not have any kind of stage experience. And also to think that they have something that they can offer others, whether it be enjoyment, happiness, or for me personally, it's to raise awareness of certain issues. I'm one of these people that I do love to experiment and I do love to put into varieties of performances topics that need or that I feel need to be addressed or need to come to surface once again. Those that have got my YouTube channel will know that we are in the process of doing a Beat the Bully campaign. That to me is something that's really close to my chest. It's personal for me. I'm sure it's personal for a lot of other people around me and children especially that I work with. So that's also on my YouTube channel, and hopefully with more inclusion from other schools, from different walks of life, everybody can participate in that and we can kind of make it more public, because there are some issues that are, kind of left to one side and brushed under the carpet. And for those children or adults that it's happening to, it doesn't make you feel that you're being listened to. So that's one of the inspirations. Also, for me personally, I like to inspire, or I like to know that I'm inspiring others around me. And for people to come up to me and say, my child has drawn a photo, put it up on the wall, things that inspire me. These are things that I haven't necessarily told anybody to do. It's just what they feel necessary. And it's absolutely fabulous to think that, okay, I'm doing something positive around me. I also like to think that I'm an agony aunt big time to especially all the children, new ones that are coming to me, old, past, present. To know that they've got that trust in me is incredible. And some parents may approach me and say, it's a lot to take on my shoulders, but that's what I like to think I'm here for. I like to think I've been put on this planet not only to obviously enjoy and live my life to the fullest, but to also be there for others and to listen and to raise awareness. If I've got these ideas coming into my mind and I'm not doing anything about them, then I think that I'm not fulfilling my purpose. So being a business owner, or to those that are in the same kind of environment as me, being a dance teacher, it's not just teaching a few classes a week. It's not just, turning up to dance and then just winging it. there's a lot more to it, and I'm hoping to go through that in this video. You may see my cat's going to come and say hello. And she's famous. Hi, Minnie. Minnie, you have to come down now. Oh, for those that know me, those that don't know me, yes, I'm aware I am wearing my loungewear. And also, if I can get a bit closer, the only thing that I have on is obviously my false nails, but I had some false eyelashes. And my eyebrows aren't on, my makeup's not on, nothing else. This is me. The title of the video, this is me. My hair isn't done. I was up at 6:10 this morning. But the reason for this, I'll move my hand because it looks fairly large. The reason for me being like this is, it dawned on me the other day that people see you in a certain way, and they'll see you dolled up, they'll see you in your finest clothes or your work clothes, and you've got your hair done, your makeup done. And there might be a time where you really don't feel like making all that effort. And the fact that, for me, it happened to me quite recently, and I won't class them as being, horrible or anything like that. They weren't being derogatory to me. They were just passing comments and obviously wondering if I was okay. But they said to me, you look washed out, you look tired. And it wasn't. I may have been at the time, I do try to work hard, but I hadn't got as much makeup on as I would do usually. And therefore people thought, oh, is Sophie okay? She doesn't look herself. Now that to me is kind of like why I'm doing this video, is we put on a false impression of who we actually are. And it's the same for dating. You'll go out, you'll meet somebody, you act all happy, you act all positive, and then further down the line, you start to get into your comfort zone, your barriers start coming down, you start showing the real side of you, which you're too scared to show at the start. And then people start wondering, why did I get with this person? They're not the same person that I met, or, and that's just life. That's what we are all guilty of it. Unless you're one of those that decides not to wear makeup wherever you go because you're perfectly happy in your own skin, and I applaud you. For me, leaving the house without makeup on is a massive no-no. And that's only because I don't like the way that I look. And that's probably been enforced through media, through you have to be a certain way. I've got children that I know that do vlogging, and they're conscious about what they're wearing, or they're conscious about their hair or their makeup, or they feel like they have to hide behind something that they're not. And so this is why I'm doing it. Even if it reaches just the children that I teach, that being yourself and going out into public the way that you are is acceptable. If you get attacked because of it, obviously not physically, but if you get verbally attacked because of it, it's insecurities of the other person and not you, because you are as you are. Going back to being a dance teacher, there are a lot of us out there that, yes, we are all competing against each other in the same field. We are not there to poach each other's students. We are not there to show that we are better than anybody else. If you're a competitor, and you're a strong competitor, yes, you like to show your abilities, that you can win, that you can beat your opponents. Just the same as boxing or football, you'll go out there, you'll play a game, and obviously the best team wins that day due to skill and scoring goals, or if you take rugby, scoring tries. It's the same principle when it comes to dance. There are a lot of schools out there that think, well, we have to be a certain way, we have to do this, we have to look, we have to make our kids do this, we don't have to. That's your choice. My school isn't like that at all, point blank. I do not hold auditions for my kids to come in and say, okay, well, you're not good enough, you can't be in the competition squad, or you have to buy a uniform to symbolise that you are one of us. It's all a load of rubbish, in my eyes. That's not being derogatory to any school out there that likes to be uniformed, that likes to be champions. I'm very much on a back burner with the whole competition circuit, that for me, it's more about building my kids' confidence. than going out there to win. If we get higher than 5th place, that to me is a bonus. The kids work incredibly hard during sessions, and to compete and to show them what we've learned is one thing, but sometimes on a day of the competition you may not perform as best as you did in rehearsal, and therefore that impact results in your score, and you may not win even though you think that you should have. So hence why this video is being uploaded. I personally feel that my school is to represent those that maybe the children feel they are outsiders, that they cannot, or do not fit in with the certain crowds. And to me, when they come to me and I can see that majority of them, their confidence is extremely low. That's not saying that they've ever danced before. That's not to say that they've come from somewhere else and that their school, wasn't for them, or, it's a completely different matter. If their confidence is low, to me, that means I need to do something about it. And if they are willing to compete and willing to put themselves on a stage, just like Britain's Got Talent, it's going to raise your confidence. Maybe not raise your confidence to the extent of other ways and means, but to me, for a dance school owner, that's what my goal is. If I have one child that comes to me that's extremely shy, and in 12 months' time they're then competing, they're then on the stage, and then so on and so forth, my job's done. Yes, I can only take the kids a certain way, to a certain level. If they want to go on to stage school, or they want to go on to something else, or to become a teacher or an apprentice, I will help guide them to that goal, that aim that they have, but I won't hold them back from it. So to me, for my school, it's more to provide a safe haven and environment for students. We are a family, and for most dance schools that will run across the board. Every team that we have is in its own a little family, a little community, and we are there to support each other. We're not against each other. And if a child to me seems like that they're not in the right frame of mind, then I won't push them to do anything that I feel they're not willing to do. If a child turned around to me and said, I'm not going on, I can't go on, anxiety picks up, they were conscious of their body image, I wouldn't make them go on. Not like when we were children and we were literally kicked on stage irrespective. That to me isn't building a child's confidence. So that's just a little bit of why I do what I do and why I enjoy what I do. Yes, I know that I am quite brave, some people might say, to go on live, to do this live. But the whole reason for it is I've got no makeup on. My hair is a mess. I've literally brushed it this morning and that is all. I'm still in my loungewear. I've got a cat on my lap. I've got my book here that's got notes so I don't mess up my words. But people are being, and I see this in the media a lot, people are posting things on Twitter years ago before they've even become famous or they've become well known. And then it's been scrutinised later on. Like, we all make mistakes and it will come back to bite us on the bum later on. So I need to reiterate that whatever I say in this video isn't because I'm being derogatory or I'm being horrible to any person that is in the same position as me, whether it be a dance school owner, a gymnastics school, swimming school, whatever it might be. I honour those that have taken the courage to step up and to think, right, okay, I can do this, I can make something of myself, I can provide an environment for children, for learning, all those reasons. It was a massive step for me to open up a school, especially after the years that had come before me. But I knew it was what I wanted to do, so I took the plunge and I did it. So me not having any makeup on is me trying to just say to anybody that's watching, don't be ashamed that, you know, you may have a few spots, your complexion might not be great, your hair might not be straight, or your tan might be a bit mottled, or we have all given a false perception of ourselves on camera, off camera, and just be happy to see that you are what you are. Look in a mirror and don't pick up your bad points, pick up your positive points. This is what I'm hoping it's going to inspire others that I work with or teach to be themselves and be happy with themselves. Like I said, I went to work and people thought that I was ill because I hadn't got as much makeup on as I usually would. And that to me is, it's not, like I said, it's not people being horrible. It's not saying, wow, you look terrible. It's just they see you as a different way if you've always looked a certain way. So, you know, it has provided, and I have provided people with a false image of what I look like. But this is me, you know. I recently had my eyebrows tinted just because you couldn't see them, you know, they were too fair to see. I mean, my skin isn't great, it's much better than it was, and that's because I've been taking the time and the care to do stuff. I have really bad like circles under my eyes. I'd like to say that I work hard, that I'm, like I said, I'm a little bit of a stress head at times. I like to think that things are completed, that I like to know where I'm going with certain things. But my main message recently, well, it's not been recently actually, it's been since I've opened the school and since people have started confiding in me, whether it be children or adults, whether it be ones I work with, ones I teach, or just people and friends of mine. I like to think that they can come and talk to me, which they have. And what really grinds me is that the people that we want to listen, don't. And the people that we expect to be there to support us, to encourage us and to raise our spirits, are not doing that. And that to me is the biggest upset that has come across. If I've got any advice for anybody out there, please listen. If somebody is trying to talk to you, if somebody is trying to find comfort in letting what needs to be said out, they are extremely brave for doing so, and you should have the respect to listen. If you have been chosen to listen to them and you decide that, okay, I'm going to try and help them, please, please, please don't say just get on with it. Please don't say, oh, avoid those people. Because if it's happened to you, you know that's not easy. You know that's not even remotely possible. If something is affecting you that badly, there are only certain ways that you can deal with this. And it's not by going and telling like if you're at school, it's not by going and telling the teacher. The teacher then approaches the pupil that you've mentioned, and things could get a lot worse. Yes, schools have safeguarding. Yes, schools are there and teachers should be there to listen. But that's not always the case. And people will say, go and speak to a counsellor. For me, I don't think I could ever go and speak to a counsellor because they are paid to listen to you. They are paid to give you advice. They could just give you a load of waffle, and because they're there and you've paid for it, you feel obligated to take their advice on board, and it might not be the right advice for you. So if you are, or you have friends and they decide to talk to you, listen, sit down, have a cup of coffee, give them ideas that they can do, write a journal, do a blog, do a vlog. I used to cut out magazines and stick them in a scrapbook, and years to come I'd look at the scrapbook and think, wow, that is a lot of emotion on one piece of paper. And recently I come across them from when I was 19, and I burnt them because I'm not in that place anymore. And I realised that how far I've come since that. And to me, I felt that by burning them was the way of getting rid of them for good. Everything I got out, I put it onto paper, I left it there, it hid away. It's almost like putting it in your brain in a little box. But when it's in your brain and in a box, the more you compact that box, the likelihood that it's going to all explode at some point. And that's not what you want. So for me, any advice I can give, write everything down. Don't write it and send it to somebody, or write it and it's something aimed at somebody. Sit on it for a while. Dawn French, absolutely love this woman. She's done a diary, and at the back, you know, if there's something, you write a letter. And if you need to write a letter to somebody, or you need to approach somebody about something and you're not too sure of it, write it all down, stick it in the little envelope and stick it at the back. If you wrote it in January, come December, New Year, when it comes to buying a new diary, you find the letter, you read it, and then you decide whether you want to send it or not. If you choose to send it, you've had enough time to think about it. If you decide not to send it, burn it, keep it, do whatever you want with it. But those are the advice that I can give. I cannot believe the amount, and this is aimed more towards children, the amount of children that are suffering with emotions because they don't know how to deal with them. And I love the fact that they can come and they can talk to me, and everything that they confide in me is confidential, isn't approached to anybody else. If I feel the need to take it further due to safeguarding, then obviously that is another responsibility of mine that I will then do. But if a child just wants to chat, it was a class a while ago, and I had, I think, about 6 children want to speak to me. We didn't get much done in the lesson, but the children came to me one after another, and the things that they were telling me and how other children can be so nasty, it's absolutely astonishing, and it upset me. Now, I'm an emotional person, well aware of that, but it upset me to the point where I was crying, and I felt for these kids and I wanted to help, and I've given them some ideas, I've given them some tools, and then I'm going to speak to them whenever they feel like they want to speak to me next time, and see whether the things I said have helped or not. I'm hoping that they have. But please just listen to those people around you. If they want to speak to you, organise with them to sit down, have a chat, just the two of you, and to just talk it out. Communication is such an important thing, and it gets lost with technology and, you know, TVs and computers and Xboxes and this, that and the other, and what happened to just going out and enjoying time with your friends, or the streets are no longer safe to send your children out. We can't even turn our backs for 1 minute without thinking what's going to happen. And that's what life apparently, or unfortunately, has done to us, or done for us over the last 15 years. And kids nowadays should want to go out and play with their friends, should want to use their imagination. You know, I'm getting kids going, I want to be a vlogger. That's great that they have a dream, but it's to do with technology. It's to do with things that, for me as a child, I might sound really old-fashioned, but it's not hands-on, it's not using the brain, it's not putting what you probably can do to good use. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are loads of people out there that are vloggers, that are famous from, blogging. I completely agree with blogging because it's writing. It's a skill. It's something that, you know, we all do. Okay, people are motivational speakers. Again, absolutely fabulous. But vloggers that vlog absolutely random, useless stuff, if it's confidence building that you're putting yourself out there, then great. If it's to try and be the world's next vlogger, to try and make money from it, that to me, it doesn't interest me. Just like me and my business, and probably any other dance school out there, we're not in it to make loads and loads and loads of money. We're in it because it's our passion. We've done it for so long. We want to encourage others to do the same. Trying to find children that stick at something for until they're like 18 is absolutely shocking. Unless they've already made it and they're already within a company. Trying to find children to stay in a field is like few and far between, because they do want to go out, they do want to socialise with friends, and that's great. But they still need something for themselves. They need to be comfortable in their own skin and happy with their own company to go and do something for themselves that doesn't include their social groups. They make new friends. This is how we evolve. And to me, I couldn't have done what I've done without the people around me. And whether they be past, whether they be present, or whether they be ones to come, they give me the ideas. They give me the courage and the motivation to keep going and to pursue the ideas and the dreams that I have. And trust me, this book, if you can't read it, it says big ideas, speaks volumes. I saw this book and I was like, oh my God, I've got to get it. I've got to get this book. Because, yeah, half the ideas might get shoved away in a drawer if you put them on a piece of paper, but the fact that they're all here in this book and I can add to them and I can execute them in a way that I feel that I want to do. At the moment there's showcase ideas, fundraiser ideas, performance opportunity, beat the bully. There's loads and loads of things in there, and for me, I want to keep spreading the message out there of certain issues that I feel need to come forth. Whether it be bullying, whether it be anxiety, depression, whether it be that you are diagnosed with autism or dyslexia or I can't think of all the others that may affect people. But your mental awareness and your mental state is so, so important. And if that starts to decline, you're in trouble. And you need to speak out and you need to confide in those that actually want to listen. Don't listen to people that say, just get on with it, brush it off. You don't do that with dementia patients. My nan's got dementia. Sometimes you just have to roll with it. If they think that they're ironing with a clock, they're ironing with a clock and they're doing a fabulous job. You don't discriminate. You don't say, hold on a second, you do realise that's a clock, don't you? That's them. That's the way that they are now. You aren't going to change that. If that's who they are as a person, you have to adapt. If somebody has a mental illness, or if somebody has got a chemical imbalance in their brain, and they see people, how do you know that they can't see that person? There are so many things in this world that we don't understand. And if we discriminate and we turn to people and say, you're being an idiot, you're being stupid, get on with it, why are you being like that for, that's wrong, this is wrong. That's all negative pressure and negative input on people. Why would you want to do that to someone? Why would you want to try and knock their confidence and make them think that something is deeply wrong with them? It's not. That's the way they are. And the fact that it's now kids, and it's always been kids, that have always been picked on by other kids because of who they are. I know that when I was at school, I was muscly. Yep, I will happily admit I was muscly. I did so much sport. I'm surprised that, it didn't come out of my ears. But I was picked on for being muscly, for being hench, for being a man. For it was all ridiculous, and at that time it is vile to have to go through. Absolutely vile. And for no one to listen to you, and you have to take things into your own hands. And you have to sit down with yourself and go, hold on a second, this is who I am, this is me. I'm happy with it. If I'm happy with it, screw what anybody else says. That is, to me, the most important message I can get out there. If you are being bullied, if you suffer with anxiety, I suffer with anxiety. They made me get up on stage the other day at a school, in front of the whole school, and do the Macarena. and do Saturday night. I was absolutely petrified. I know all the kids. I teach all the kids. But I was still petrified to get on that stage. But once I was up there, I was absolutely fine. And that's not saying that go and do something because you'll be fine afterwards. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it doesn't matter how often or how many times you do things, you can still suffer with it. Whatever it is, deal with it in a way that you feel necessary. Whether it be a journal, whether it be a little blog, whether it be a little bubble diagram that describes your fears and your anxieties, or just what happened that day. If somebody's been horrible to you, write it down. Write it down on a piece of paper, give it 24 hours, look at it the next day and go, wow. And then burn it. That's the best way, is to burn it. It's not true. I think Minnie got a little bit. What's the matter, Fluffy? Am I getting too serious? Yeah, so as you can see, it angers me that people can be so nasty. It's not just kids, it happens across the board, whatever age. And if you're blind to it and you're not listening and you're not being there for those that feel like they need somebody to talk to, then what are we? What's our point? What's our purpose? To me, I love listening to people. It widens my eyes every time to think, wow, this is actually going on. And I guarantee that most of you, should you watch this, will see the same thing. Your eyes will be opened. And don't push past the fact that it's your child. It's impossible for something like that to happen to my child. My child goes to a private school. That wouldn't happen at private school. Yeah, it kind of does. It doesn't matter where you are. It happens everywhere. And just listen. It's the easiest skill we have, is to listen and to communicate. I can't believe how much communication has changed over the years. To sit there and to be at a dinner table and there be so much technology, somebody on their phone, somebody gets up and makes a call, or when I was a child, you sat there and you sat with your family. You had family time. You don't get much of it. And if something happens, you kind of wish that you'd done more. Don't have regrets. Don't think, I wish I'd have sat down with my dad more. I wish I'd have spoken to my mum more. Just do it. Talk to people. And you never know what the outcome might be. So I think that for me, this is the most important message I can get out there. Just talk. Talk to people. Confide in people. Obviously, don't confide in people that you think will make the situation worse. Talk to the person that you're closest to your best friend. If your best friend doesn't listen, then it's a bit of an eye-opener for them as a person, not you. So yes, I am here speaking out. I have no hair. Well, obviously I have hair, but I don't have my hair done. I don't have my makeup on. I'm still sat in my loungewear. I've got a cat that's trying to drink out the lemon bowl. I'm at home. I'm enjoying my Sunday. And I'm not really bothered that this is going to go public or live, or this is who I am. This is me. And I'm sorry if you haven't seen The Greatest Showman. If you're not a musical buff, it doesn't matter. The message is so much deeper than that. If you haven't seen it, just go and watch it. You will be... It's not just a musical. It's not just a circus show, or it's not just a story about a man that goes on to pursue his dreams and that's what they want you to see as a plot line. Look at the hidden messages. Trust me, it is so worth the watch. On that note, I am going to make myself a coffee. I am going to sit out possibly in the sunshine and enjoy what's left of the Sunday. And I hope that this ramble on, that what people might say of 35, almost 36 minutes, is somewhat useful to absolutely anybody that's out there watching. Just listen. Speak out and listen. God bless.